Hi everybody, I'm Corina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My Facebook page is Corina Stefan Astrology, and the website where you can find me and book a reading with me is www.corinastefanastrology.com. On October 5th at 11:40 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the Aries full moon in almost 13 degrees is a cosmic moment that illuminates the differences between the feminine and the masculine pole in strong and highly contrasting colors, impossible to ignore, demanding from us to balance them out in our lives in order to be able to evolve. It's a moment designed in such a special celestial fashion that it is certainly meant to determine us to take action and to make the necessary changes when it comes to our identity and the roles that we play in our relationships. The cosmos asks us in quite impatient and dissonant notes two fundamental questions. Who am I truly in my one-on-one relationships? And how do I juggle on the slippery wire of partnerships with two sets of opposite needs? The need for authenticity, frankness, and independence on the one hand, and the need for cooperation, for compromise and negotiation on the other hand. With the moon in Aries, the emotional context of the next 2 weeks is not going to be a peaceful, a slow or cautious one at all. On the contrary, one can expect impulsive, direct and impetuous actions triggered by emotional needs that can suffer no further delay from being acknowledged, being validated and satisfied. The motto for an Aries moon could be one like this: to hell with the needs of others. I need my independence and my personal power, and I need them now. An Aries moon's behavior can be easily compared to a wild animal that cannot possibly be tamed, no matter how gently we might speak to it or caress it. It's that super rare type of winged unicorn that can make you wait for 365 nights out in the freezing cold before it shows up, and when the slightest noise reveals your presence, threatening its territory, it vanishes in the blink of an eye. An Aries moon represents simply the masculine principle of emotional autonomy that will never ever allow one to negotiate personal territory, identity or needs. The central theme here is that of self-determination. I practically need nobody and nothing outside of myself in order to feel emotionally safe. I don't depend on the contribution of others in order to feel whole, to feel self-confident, and to feel that I am the highest authority in my life. Therefore, you can either accept me as an exotic, sometimes even dangerous wild animal in your life, especially when challenged or facing the danger of captivity, or this game of love ends before it can start. It's similar to that Ikran, to that dragon of fire from the Avatar movie, that makes a lifelong bond with only one warrior, a warrior that the Ikran chooses and not the other way around. How does the warrior know they have been chosen? The Ikran tries to kill that warrior, and if it's not successful, then it agrees to enter a partnership with them. On this Aries full moon, we are very likely to become aware of our own Ikran impulses that obeys nobody, is its own master, and cooperates only with an equal. Be careful how you express and release those instincts of warrior so that you don't create useless tensions or conflicts. The moon symbolizes in astrology the physical and emotional food that we receive from our mother in order to grow, in order to feel protected and to be able to respond to our environment. The moon principle is actually our very foundation in this world, what gives us a body and what makes us engage with life and respond to its stimuli. On this Aries full moon, the energy of fire is very, very intense. So the appropriate food for all of us during the next 2 weeks is courage and frankness. Aries symbolizes the assertive, firm crying of a newborn, who defends his or her right to live. In a similar fashion, this full moon is a moment favorable to uncensored cries that rise from the depths of our lungs and of our needs for validation and respect in our partnerships. On the other hand, the Sun and Mercury are conjunct in the sign of Libra, making an opposition, that angle of 180 degrees, to the Moon in Aries. This is the mental and the feminine pole, our conscious, rational, and intellectual side, meant to shake us up when our instincts of wild animal go too far. It's that principle of social and relational harmony that asks us to adapt to the needs of others and negotiate so that we can create a peaceful win-win situation. The Libra principle tames our inner wild animal with the magical potion of love. The essence of feminine energy is its non-conflictual nature. Femininity is synonymous with love, with forgiveness, acceptance, passivity, receptivity, and non-confrontation. A life deprived of feminine energy would be an endless battlefield. So take advantage of this full moon's opportunity to bring the two principles back into balance by expressing your identity fully, while benefiting at the same time from all the pleasures and the joy and the beauty of offering and sharing love. Pluto in Capricorn makes double squares, angles of 90 degrees, with this full moon and is the focal point in a T-square. So these are aspects of high tension involving Pluto, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon, which clearly indicates that the next 2 weeks of this lunar cycle are not going to be simple at all. We will be faced with some of our deepest, darkest, and most denied fears. We will have to confront our personal shadow, revisiting all the issues that we learned in time to deny and exclude from our identity for fear of being abandoned or rejected. Pluto is a planet associated with unconscious protection mechanisms that rule our lives like an automatic pilot. So be aware that you will most likely feel the urge to start wrestling with extreme fears, with obsessions, and a lot of impatience caused by a feeling that your personal progress is very slow in clearing your closet of skeletons from the past. Be persistent with the changes that you want to implement in your life and try to free yourselves from the tyranny of the past, the repetition of the past. Allow yourselves to react in a whole new way to persons, circumstances, problems, giving up any rigid, arrogant, all-knowing type of attitudes and embracing an innocent and curious mentality. The square between Pluto and Mercury recommends wise use of words to heal and to unify and not to separate. So refrain from using words like weapons, because this creates suffering, separation, and controversy. Try to free your dialogue with others from any desire or obsession to control others through the power of your words. This way you'll have the chance to experience how amazing it feels to be fully centered in your personal power, not giving up not even 1 inch of it, while allowing at the same time other people to support you in your evolutionary processes. Mars, the principle of action and will, rules this full moon and is conjunct Venus, which is the opposite principle, the principle of love, harmony, and pleasure, in the sign of Virgo. This is a magical marriage of the masculine and the feminine, of the heart and the will, in the sign of Virgo, which is the sign that aspires for perfection in serving humanity. So you can meditate on what this magical union and of love and force might create in your life. What miraculous changes for Mother Earth could you contribute if you merged in a symbolic wedding your capacity to love and your power to protect. What could your gentleness and power combined together create in your life? This Mars-Venus conjunction in Virgo squares Saturn in Sagittarius, which warns us that no matter which direction we want to pursue, we need a cautious, a disciplined, and a slow approach. So check your decisions with every step that you take, and refrain from getting involved in situations that are confusing or that have nothing to do with your long-term vision whatsoever. The opposition between Mars-Venus conjunction in Virgo and Chiron in Pisces speaks about the necessity to integrate kindness and forgiveness in our strategy for life, practicing how to love our flaws, our insecurities and imperfections, and how to make peace with them. This exercise might show us that there is nothing to heal or to fix or to forgive about ourselves after all, as we simply are miraculous in all our limitations and imperfections. Thank you, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.